Disappointment at the weekend, just sort of a few days on. How are you reflecting on what went on at Huddersfield?
Well, just disappointed, but gone now. We're on to Swansea now. Really good team, so we're just preparing for that. Really, you can't dwell too long on. We obviously went through it on Monday about the mistakes and the misses that we had, and one thing and another, the penalty against Norwich, one or two other things. So, but that it's all gone now.
Obviously, the players have had a bit of time to put their feet up. There was talk about fatigue and the schedule after the game and that kind of thing. From that point of view, how much of a relief is that you're actually at home this time and you haven't got to travel again and that kind of thing?
Well, I think we're going to get that said about us every time we lose a game, if I'm honest. It's going to be fatigue or something. I don't think we should make an excuse like that. I think if we'd have been 3-up, we'd have been sprinting for England. I think most of it's in the mind, if I'm honest. I don't get that fatigue thing. One or two might be a little bit, but I don't think the mistakes helped the mental side and the goals. So, like I say, I don't think there'd been a problem if we'd have been 3-up.
So looking ahead, obviously Swansea City, another good team. What do you expect the challenge to be there?
Well, Swansea, I think they probably actually got me the job, didn't they, here, really? I think that was the game before I came. And by all accounts, it was a comprehensive victory by them. And, they've won quite a lot this season. They've got a good side. They've got a good squad. They always do well. They've got probably the highest paid player in the league, but one of the best forwards in Ayew. Who's a match for anybody in this league and the Premier League. So it'll be a good test for us, really.
Happy birthday, I should say.
Thank you.
By the way, any plans for the day?
No, not really. Just a quiet meal tonight. I think with my missus. Well, I can't say that. She has a go at me now for saying that. With Sharon, and nothing really. Night before a game, it's one of those things. I used to say you try and tend to forget birthdays when you get to my age, if you can, as soon as possible.
So, if your first team squad could give you a present, what present would you like them to give you?
A nice bottle of Chateau Neuf de Pape. I thought you were going to say points, weren't you?
Well,
I bet you'd already wrote it. I bet you'd already wrote it down. That.
So just generally, again, obviously the situation with the squad, you've been operating with a small squad all season. I've heard what you're saying about not making excuses, but when you see situations like Saturday, does it make you feel that at times you may have to alter things, you may have to shake things up, just to sort of keep the freshness?
I think every manager will have to, and you're going to get injuries. We've had some bad news in the last 24 hours regarding Grant Hall. He looks like going to be out 12 to 16 weeks. We're not exactly sure if he's going to need an operation yet. We've got different opinions, so it's dragged on a little bit. But that's a big disappointment because he really worked hard to get back, and he looked sharp on the training ground. So that's a blow, and we've got one or two other little niggles as well. So we just have to manage it really, and the lads who are fit and available, we'll pick the team from.
Obviously, you said that's very, very disappointing for Grant. I mean, perhaps if you say you're not sure of the precise nature of it, but what has been the additional problems he's had?
Well, it's not his original injury. It's a front thigh injury, but quite innocuous as well. When you look at it on the camera, we watched it back, and he's just, he's finished a really physical session and just made a side foot pass into the goals, and he's pulled up with the front of his thigh. And on the scan, it's worse than what we first thought, But we've got difference of opinions at the moment. One surgeon would operate, one surgeon wouldn't. So we're going to have to just, go down the line, and I'm sure they'll make a decision this week between them.
Okay, that'll do for me. Thank you very much, Neil.
Thanks, Sam.
Jeff, please. Jeff Brown.
Where are you, Jeff?
Myself.
Yeah, it's got you, Jeff. Yeah.
Here we go. All right, Neil. Neil made a load of chances again on Saturday. Didn't quite take most of them. What can you do? Is it more practice on the training ground, or is it just one of those things that when they start going in, they will go in?
I don't think you can practice the chances we missed, Jeff. If I'm honest, I think. If you were talking about a clearance off the line, that probably would be. You'd say that were a brilliant clearance of Brits, wouldn't you? I don't know. It's not. I still, when I look at it, I still don't understand it, and I don't think Brit does really. So you can't practice things like that. It's very often in training you can't get them as clear as that. But he doesn't. He doesn't do that, and neither do other strikers. They don't do it on a purpose. So you just got to get on with it, really. But that would have been a very psychological blow to go 2-0 up. Against a team. I think that would have killed him really. But it just shows you how football is. It turns on a decision like that and and the goal like that.
I think I read it at the weekend. I didn't see the game, but probably the first time that performance levels have dipped a bit this season.
Well, I think that was down to us missing the chances really, and mentally being a bit distraught. Rather than, I didn't see it. I didn't see it as the papers did. If I'm honest, whether I'm biased, I didn't see it that they dominated the second half and all. I always thought we were quite well in it in the second half. But once again, stupid things like after equalising, Marvin rushes to take a long free kick from his own box on the other side, and Tuba plays a ball that he would never play in a million years. Little things like that with 4 minutes to go away from home, quite ridiculous, really. So we've just got to learn, really. And as I say, I think one or two lads were a little bit fatigued in the mind, I think, more than the body. And the body, they're always going to get tired. They put everything in every game, so they are going to be tired at the end of a game. That's what I would expect that.
Still top 10, still within reach of the playoffs. Are you about where you should be? Or I know you always want to be higher.
We probably are about where we thought we might be. But, I don't think that takes away from where we should be. It's a big disappointment for me, if I'm honest.
And you never really banged on about promotion, but is that, obviously it's your goal, is that something achievable?
I think anybody could get promotion in the league at the moment, apart from probably the bottom 4 or 5. I think with 3 points for a game, for a win, it's just, usually, I think after Christmas is the time to sort of put a run together and get on it. If we can be there or thereabouts, like I say, come in 4 weeks' time, I'll be delighted, really.
And just, I don't know if you watched it, I'd forgotten that you were in charge of QPR, the Anton Ferdinand, John Terry-Inson. Did you watch the documentary last night?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I did.
And what are things changing in football? Do you think?
I don't think I want to get involved in that. If I'm honest, I think that everybody else has their opinions on that, and I think I've got enough on my plate talking about football.
Fair point. Okay, cheers, mate. Good luck.
Thank you.
Keith Downey, are you there?
Where's Keith?
No, Ian.
Oh, he's here. Keith's here.
Come on, Keith. And then Ian Hunt, please.
I'm in the car. I've got a few problems with the signal, but I hope you can hear me. Just on Grant, obviously a huge blow because he was the first one you brought in the summer, and I guess someone you wanted to kind of build the team around. So can you just kind of tell us a little bit about how big a blow that is to you?
Well, it is a big. I mean, to be honest, when I arrived, I think the club had already agreed to sign Grant. I think Jonathan had him up and spoke to him, and they'd already agreed. They asked me about my opinion, and I said he's a good lad, which he is, a very good lad, So I wouldn't even class that as one of my signings, really. Even though I said to the board that he's a good lad and he'll recommend that. But I think Grant, it's just a blow because he come back, he's so fit and worked so hard, lost a bit of weight as well. He looked really sharp, and I'm gutted for him really because he's just desperate to get back in the team, and to not to be like a 2 or 3 week job, but to be a 3 or 4 months. It's a major blow to him.
And in terms of the COVID situation, Neil, are you okay at the moment in terms of the team?
Yeah, we are at the minute, touch wood. I just, we just got to rely. I keep talking to them about how thorough they've got to be, how no temptations and no silliness. Because we can't afford 3 or 4 out like Newcastle have got. We would be decimated.